Hi guys, it's Kate here to do the mid-year Bookish Freakout tag. Now ever since I've seen this tag going around, I've wanted to do it, and since I haven't been as active on my channel, I've just been like really wanting to do it. And I was tagged by Stephanie from That's What She Read, Annie from Bloom TV, and Amanda Center. So that has been extra encouragement for me to do this tag, and I was just really excited to be tagged for it. So I will just get started. The first question, I'm going to be looking over like on my laptop for this. The first question is best book you've read so far in 2016. Well, this is a very cruel question. I could not pick just one, so I have three categories that I'm going to be doing. And the first is just a great work of literature, and that has to be As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. I will link my gushy review down below. This book was absolutely amazing. This is a book that I read that I called a game changer book. I didn't know books could be written this way to make you feel like you're right there in the moment watching everything happen, and it was absolutely incredible. I loved this book. Then as far as like fun books go, I'm going to say My Family and Other Animals by Gerald Durrell. I read this during Genreathon, and it was such a treat. This is a modern classic that is funny and beautifully written, and I just couldn't have asked for a more fun experience. This is about Gerald. This is his memoir when his family moved to Corfu, and he collects all of these crazy bugs and insects, and there's just lots of family drama, and it was just such a treat. And then I wanted to award a best book so far for mystery, since I read so many of them, and that I would still have to say is Death in Holy Orders by P.D. James. This takes place in an all-boys Anglican boarding school, and there is like one of the bishop who is murdered, and Adam Dalgleish is on the case, and it was excellent. It was one of those where the mystery was amazing, and the unfolding of the plot, the pacing, and then the writing was absolutely stunning. So Death in Holy Orders is, I think, still my favorite mystery of the year. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2016. And I think that would have to be Payment in Blood by Elizabeth George. This is the second in the Inspector Lynley series, and Kate from the novel Nomad and I are slowly going through this series and absolutely loving it. And in this one, there are all of these actors and actresses and like a playwright who are staying at this kind of cozy Scottish manor out in the country, and the director of the play is found murdered in her bed, and so Inspector Lynley comes to the case, and there's lots of personal drama that's also happening from like people he knows that are there, and that adds just another interesting element to this mystery. The next question is a new release you haven't read yet but want to, and so oh my goodness, it has just been so busy this past weekend with like super fun booktube things with the meetup that I did, and then just a crazy beginning of the week, and I'm just chomping at the bit to read The Beauty of Darkness by Mary Pearson. This is the third in the Remnant Chronicles, and the first is The Kiss of Deception, and then it's the Heart of Betrayal, that's what it is. And so I'm so excited to get this one. And when I picked it up at the library, I was so excited when I saw the thickness, because these like YA fantasy is just like candy to me, and I know I'm just gonna like zoom right through it, and I cannot wait. So I'm very excited to get to this. I don't know when it's going to happen just because I have other reading I'm trying to keep up with, but I cannot wait for it. And then another new release actually that I wanted to talk about. I had hauled this like a little while ago in a Friday Reads. This is a library copy though, so I definitely need to get on this. And this just sounds very cute, like a book for book lovers. Yes, this woman accepts the post of private librarian in the village of San Ireneo de Arnois. And there is a man there who is a critic of Jane Austen and Louisa May Alcott. And so it just sounds like a book lover's dream, and I definitely want to get to this. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. If you've been watching my channel long at all, you know that I don't really get excited about new releases. There's like a few here and there because I read just so many classics. And the mysteries that come out and authors that I'm interested in, I'm usually not caught up with. So the only one I could think of is the illustrated Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I'm very excited about that, and I was just totally not let down at all by the first illustrated one. So I'm really looking forward to getting to that when it does come out. The next question is biggest disappointment. Now before I show you these, I will say that disappointment doesn't necessarily mean you thought it was a terrible book. It just means for you it was a disappointing read. And I have two, and the first is a mystery, and that is The Beekeeper's Apprentice by Lori R. King. And this was simply a disappointment because I thought it was going to become a new favorite series, and this was totally not my style of mystery at all, and I was just totally taken aback. And I did this as a buddy read with some really fun ladies, but I ended up DNFing it. So I was bummed because I thought it was going to be a new favorite series. And then the next was How Green Was My Valley. I did this as a buddy read with Kristen from Vienna Waite's Books, and we both liked it, but we didn't love it. And so this just did not captivate me emotionally. I thought the writing was good, but I just felt that the characters were so distant and aloof. And part of that could have been like the dialectic writing, the dialect that was in it. Anyhow, it didn't captivate me, and so I was bummed because I thought this was going to be a new favorite. So that's what I mean by disappointing. Continuing on, it says biggest surprise, and the first that I want to talk about is one I already mentioned, but it was a surprise how much I loved it, and that's As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. I thought this would be way too hard for me to understand, and I think the reason it wasn't is that I did it as a buddy read, and that really, really helped, and just kind of to process anytime I had questions about something, and it was just excellent. And so I was surprised that this is now, one of my favorite books of all time. And the other surprise I talked about recently in a wrap-up is Nine Coaches Waiting by Mary Stewart. I'm just very, very excited to know about her, and specifically because she's very, very easy to read, and they're very fast-paced. This was very fast-paced at least, and I love the nod to the Brontes that this kind of is, and so I'm just very excited to read more Mary Stewart in the future, and she has written so many mysteries. The next question is favorite new author, and I'm just going to piggyback off that to, I have lots of Faulkner to read now, lots of Mary Stewart to read now. I'm just going to say them. Newest favorite character, I think, would have to be Gerald from My Family and Other Animals. He's just so hilarious, but he also has such curiosity and such a fascination with life and with nature and just learning, and I'm very, very eager to continue on with more of Gerald's books. Whenever I look in used bookstores, under Durrell, it's his brother Lawrence that pops up, which maybe I'll try out Lawrence Durrell sometime, but for now, I'm just interested in reading Gerald's books. Book that made me cry. I really don't cry that much when I read books. I didn't realize that until I started going through my Goodreads and looking, and I think this is the only book that made me cry. I can't remember any others that have this year, and this is All Creatures Great and Small by James Herriot. I talk about these books a lot, so I don't think there's much I need to say about them. The next is Book That Made You Happy. This was just in a wrap-up that I did for July, and that's The Bird in the Tree by Elizabeth Gouge. This is the first in the Elliott family trilogy, and it made me happy because the writing was so good, and the characters were excellent, and it was in a charming, cozy British setting. So there you go. That's just my kind of book. And then also I had to add Nightingale Wood by Stella Gibbons. I did this as a buddy read very early in the year with Anne from Beyond the Pages. This was so hysterical. It had me laughing so much. And so just kind of the antics, it was kind of larger than life, all of the things that happened, and I absolutely loved it. And it made me really want to read more Stella Gibbons, and made Cold Comfort Farm, unfortunately, quite the come down after that. Let's see, next question is the most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. I recently hauled this, and this was Cider with Rosie, and I'm saying this is the most beautiful because it's a folio society that had the case with it, and I'm just very excited about it. And then I really love just the simple pen and ink drawings, and I'll try to find an illustration for you. Here we go. So I haven't actually read this, but I figure that if I read this and I love it, I'll be very, very happy to own a beautiful copy of it. And if I don't love it, then it's going to make a really, really beautiful gift to give someone. So I definitely want to get to this. And then, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? Well, I'm really, really chomping at the bit to finish the Elliott family trilogy. I still have 2 left. I just really want to get to these, and time just keeps slipping away. So I want to make a priority of those. And then I also said Cold Mountain. I've wanted to read this for years, ever since seeing the movie, and I actually have plans to do a buddy read with this, of Katie, do a buddy read of this with Katie from Life Between Words. So I'm very, very excited, and I hope that's going to happen in November. And then a classic that I want to read by the end of the year is Bleak House. The Ange from Beyond the Pages, Yamini from A Skeptical Reader, and Alicia from Ex Libri all absolutely loved this and made me really, really want to read it. I had been wanting to read it, and I want to get to this. And let me just say, one benefit of getting used books is somebody has already done all the work of like breaking this book in for me. It's so floppy, and it's a Barnes & Noble, which are usually not that floppy. So thank you, people who use this. Then let's see. Oh, I also skipped Newest Fictional Crush. I don't really get fictional crushes from books, so skipping that one. Then the last one is really, I don't like this question, favorite book community member. I don't have a favorite. I have favorites. Like, I have people that I like. And I'm just going to take a lead off Amanda Center and just say you can check out these channels that I tag. That's how you can know some people that I like. And I try to find people who hadn't done this tag yet. The first is Basket Casey Reads. So Casey out of Basket Casey Reads. Loving her channel. She's excellent. You guys should check her out if you want to watch a good channel. I don't know what I was going to say, but I love her channel. Whitney from All the Shelves. Katie from Life Between Words, Sarai from Sarai Talks Books, Hillary from Your Robot Friend, the Book Nester, Rebecca, and Ange from Beyond the Pages. I hope you ladies are up for doing this tag. I'd love to see your answers. So I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing this tag for me, and I will see you in another video soon.